Hello everybody, Jake and Gino here. We're going to do a quick, short video for you guys. 3 things we want to hit on this call. First one, we're going to talk about where we find the commercial deals in this current market. Today's market, not yesterday's market, not tomorrow's market, today's market. Right, Jake? Second thing is we want to nail what a proforma actually is. I think a proforma to Jake and I is the rosy picture. We don't want to deal with rosy pictures. We want to deal with the reality. So let's talk about what proformas are. And the third thing is we're going to dive into what a Loopnet listing should look like and what one really needs to look like for you to analyze. So Jake, where do we find our commercial deals?
It all starts up front, as they say in football. It starts with relationships. We find our deals by networking, and it's hard work at the end of the day. It's not easy. It took us 2 years to get our first deal. And we were able to land that deal because we went out there, we networked, and we built relationships, and we were able to forge that relationship in a way that the broker had confidence in us, even though we really didn't have any kind of portfolio or any deals under our belt, to present our offer, to get some seller financing because we were new to the game, and get a deal that worked for us and allowed us to really springboard our career. I think one of the keys to that is we had a business plan. Some people call it a credibility book. We have some things like that on our website, show people how to build those. But you got to show people, you got to be able to show the broker, this is what my plan is. You be able to show the bank, this is what my plan is. This is how we're going to make it happen. This is how we're going to reposition a property. And it's that level of credibility in the front end that's going to really help people, develop that relationship with the broker up front, so they have the confidence that you're going to be able to get in there and get the deal closed.
Now, I'm excited because I'm going to give you guys 2 offers. Down below, I want you to click through to what our credibility is. Jake referenced what a credibility book is. It's basically a souped-up business plan. We've designed a nice one. It's got our entire portfolio on there. It's got an entire business strategy on how we're going to make your money back for you. Of when an investor looks at this thing and goes, oh, wow, the mom and pop kings, or a broker says, I've got a perfect mom and pop for you guys, because that's what we're known as. We're known as the C property, 50 to 200 unit, 8 cap rate, 10% cash on cash return, mom and pop kings. When they've got a deal like that, they come to us. That's what brokers want. They want to get rid of their pocket listings as quickly as possible, as painlessly as possible. They want to be able to close on a deal. That's what they're looking for. And if they don't find that, guess where it ends up? We're going to talk about it in about a minute or two. It ends up on Loopnet. We don't want it to end up the Loopnet. If it's a good deal, we want to be able to get on the broker's buyer's list. That's really important. And the second thing is 46 questions. 46 questions. We have a great ebook. What are you supposed to say to a broker? How do you network with a broker? If you're just starting out, it might be a little bit overwhelming. I want you to learn how to research your market. You're going to find out in the ebook how to research your market, what questions you need to ask a broker, and what you need to look for as far as job growth, as far as demographics. It's all in that ebook.
Mr. Barber, I have a question for you. Let's get real world on him. How did we find our last deal? Tell me the story.
Really funny. Jake and I did a presentation at an REI Knox meeting. We sold the house out. Over 100 people at the meeting. Normally, they like to be single-family home guys, fix and flipper guys, but they knew that Jake and Gino were coming. We're bringing the pain with the multifamilies, because multifamilies is what's hot right now. And it should always be hot, because it's a vehicle where you're going to be able to get that passive income and create the wealth. That's what we're all after in real estate, ultimately. That's what we're looking for. We're looking for an asset that will deliver returns, and it'll have tax consequences and tax benefits for you. So we were there. The guy presenting before us is one of the best brokers in the Knoxville market, I think, in multifamily, Steve Goldman, Goldman Partners. He did his presentation right after we showed our authority. We did our presentation. Afterwards, I'm networking with him, spoke to him with half an hour. Great guy. He knew exactly what he was talking about. I saw the listings on Loopnet. I said, Steve, those listings are pretty high. You're selling those things at high numbers. I said, when I'm ready to sell, I'm coming with you. And he's like, well, by the time they get on there, they get to be expensive. So I said, Steve, do you have any deals? He goes, as a matter of fact, I've got a 97-unit deal, a Freddie Mac assumption. I started drooling. I tried to hide my excitement. I poked to Jake. I said, Steve, what's going on? You want to throw us the deal? He goes, listen, I got 2 guys in front of you. And that's what I'm saying. I had never met Steve before. I guarantee you, if I was on his big list, we would have been the first ones in line. Fortunately for us, the first 2 guys, as we like to say, just didn't pan out. They didn't meet all the requirements. We were third in line. And what Jake likes to say is we like to perform. So that's what Jake kept hammering him on. We have to show him our credibility at the same time he's showing us his credibility. So that's what we did. We gave him the credibility book. We showed him. He was really impressed with our portfolio. He knew exactly this was right in our wheelhouse, and he knew that we could perform and we could close on this deal. And that's what made this deal awesome. So we ended up just networking with him, meeting him on that fateful night. We're trying there to sell a few investment educational products, and we end up getting a 97 unit deal. It was just a great night.
And we're doing what we say we're going to do. We are performing lights out. We're bringing the pain. We're moving this thing right along. We brought our entire team to the inspection today. Steve was there. So everything that we said up front that we were going to do, we're showing them. We've got all of our stuff over to Freddie already. Everything that we said we're going to do on the front end, we're performing. We're showing them that we're closers, and this is how we do it. So guess what? Next time, we're not going to be third in line. We're going to be number one because we're showing how much we really do bring the pain and how much, how capable we are of closing these deals.
And at the same time, keep networking with other brokers. Use those 46 questions. Build your credibility with them. Talk to accountants in the market. Talk to property managers in the market, insurance brokers. You're talking to attorneys, all these guys, mortgage brokers and bankers. They all have deals. They're all working in the business. These are all guys that you should be networking on a daily basis, building your team and asking them if there's any deals in the pipeline, because I'm sure they've got deals. And you know what? They'd want to sell them to you if you're their team member, because they're going to get the residual business off of you. Because guess what? They do it. They need to close on the property, or they're going to become your bookkeeper. So that's a great way to find deals. And Jake, I want to touch on the proforma really quick. As far as a proforma, what do we do with a proforma when we get a proforma?
We say, can we see the actuals, please?
And they'll go, yeah, but Jake, the property could be doing this 6 months down the road. And what do?
Can we see the actuals, please?
And it drives them nuts.
No, but you need to see the actuals because we don't want to retrade. We want to be able to base our number that we're going to offer on what's really going on the property, so we don't have to go back in and when we start getting the actual numbers say, well, we thought this was doing something else. If you give us the actuals up front, we're going to be able to give you a fair price for the property and we're going to be able to close on it. And that's what's most important. We don't want to go back through thinking, look, everyone needs to be fair. Show us what's really going on and we're going to show you a real number and we're going to get the deal done. That's where everyone needs to get to, and things are going to move a lot quicker.
I had a situation with a student yesterday. He was looking at an Aplex, and the broker told him, Jake, here are the numbers. I want you to put in an LOI based on these numbers. And I said to him, are they actual numbers? He wasn't even sure. I said, never give an LOI based on some kind of number if you don't know it's a concrete number. Because what's gonna happen is, if you base it on what you think but you don't know, you might put your LOI so high that when you come back, you have no credibility to drop that price. So get those actual numbers out. Last 12 months of profit and loss, you want to base it on an actual NOI. And the best thing to do is plug those numbers in actual and send the calculator off, your spreadsheet off to the broker and to the seller, and let them see what those numbers come out to be.
Gino, a minute ago you asked me, where do we find our deals? And I said relationships and networking. Classic example. Today, we have a guy that we do internet marketing with. He does one of the local apartment guides. A few months ago, I said, look, you find a deal, you let me know about it, right? Mm-hmm. Months and months and months go by. He was dealing with one of our property managers today. She said, oh, guess what? Brandon called, and there's actually a property he thinks you might be interested in. This is a classic example. This is not on the market, guys. This is something that hasn't hit yet. You get this by asking. You get this by networking. You got to build a strong, relationship with everyone in the community, because you never know where one of these deals is going to come from. But it all starts up front. You got to get out there. You got to network with your bankers, network with your brokers, find out who they have relationships with. Take these people out to lunch. $30-$40 on a lunch can pay big dividends down the road.
And take them out to lunch, because they like to go out to lunch. You want to build a rapport with somebody. You want to build things that are in common with somebody, and you want to be liked by them, and you want them to like you, because we always end up doing business with people we like, right, Jake? I don't want to do business with a jerk unless you're really forced to. But if you have that option, you'd rather not deal with that person. And you know what? You're going to be the last in line to get the deal. So get out there, network, and keep a great face on. And now we're talking about those deals that land on Loopnet. What do you think about the Loopnet site, Jake? And how would you use that site to your benefit?
So we got our first deal off Loopnet, and it was because it stuck on there for years and years and years. We got our third deal off Loopnet because it was on there for years and years and years. Yep. We like the deals that stick on Loopnet for a long period of time, because eventually those sellers become motivated, and then it creates an opportunity for us to then get it at a reasonable price. A lot of times when it first hits Loopnet, it's overpriced, and you gotta wait it out. Patient, persistent, willing to walk away. That's our motto. So we may look at it. We may go look at it, and if the numbers work, great, we'll go for it. Most of the time, the ones on Loopnet, not so great. So you got to be patient. Keep coming back every week. You got to be looking. Is it still there? Is it still there? And when you feel it, you talk to the broker. You know that price is going to start dipping. Re-engage and go after it.
And the thing we like to use about Loopnet is we go on there. We see who the brokers are in the market. If you see Steve Goldman on there, you go into East Tennessee, into Knoxville, Maryville, Blount County. He He is one of the top brokers. He's got his deals on there. You might call him up on one of your deals and say, hey, Steve, this deal doesn't work for me. I was wondering if you have any other deals, can you send them over to me? That's where you find your brokers on there. When you go on Loopnet, a lot of the listings are incomplete, unfortunately. They just throw them on there. You can see the professionalism of the broker. When Steve lists a listing on Loopnet, there's got cap rate, they've got how much per unit, they've got all the income expenses, they've got pictures. The thing looks really professional. You see some listings, there's just a lot lacking in those listings.
One picture, no data, maybe an email address.
It doesn't look professional, but you know the players in the market. Those are the brokers you want to connect with, and that's one of the ways we like to use Loopnet.
I agree.
Anything else, Jake?
No, get out there, kick some butt, make it happen, and start networking.
Start downloading those 2 pieces of information we got for you. Use them because they're a big help. And if you need anything, you have any questions, email me at gino@jakeandgino.com. Visit us at jakeandgino.com. And also, guys, Wheelbarrow Profits. Big podcast. 100,000 download today, Jake. Don't know if I told you that. We hit it today.
Oh, baby, I like it.
After 13 months, man, it's been a grind. Every week we've been putting out a show. It's all about multifamily investing. We've got some great guests on there, all about the multifamily space. Hit that site also. Thanks for being here. We will see you guys soon. Take care.
Thanks, Gino.